Oh, my back! Where's the cat?
New to the team, son of a pro surfer, Hawaiian Josh Stone. He received his first board when he was just 4 years old.
Josh Stone, so.
Yeah, baby.
What do you know what to do with one?
Well, you know, somebody told me just to put it on the mast. I don't know what these little plastic things are, but they're supposed to stay on the mast. That's what everybody keeps telling me, so I think I'm figuring it out pretty good. How does it look?
Slalom.
He started windsurfing at just 11 years old, and now the young Hawaiian impresses all with his tweaky style of wave riding. Bernd Flessner knows more jokes than anybody else on the tour. With aggressive style, he constantly is amongst the top 10 sailors in the world. Bernd can beat anybody on the World Pro Tour in every discipline. Jutta Müller. She's not only the most sympathetic, but also the most successful German sailor of all times. She won the overall title in 1991, and ever since, she's been amongst the very best sailors in the world.
Come on, give a kiss.
The Terminator. For about 7 years, he dominated all disciplines on the tour. Bjorn Dunkerbeck is the boss, and that's for sure. the most talented American rising star, Matt Pritchard. He won the Killer Loop Classic twice.
Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Get these things out of here. Get these things out of here. You guys are scaring me.
And this year, he came first at the most important US slalom event in Texas. Honoured with many nicknames, this man is the #1 sailor in production board speed sailing, and David White is the inventor of the reverse monkey jibe.
You honestly know what you're doing, Dave?
Pretty much. Well, no. Time to go to the beach.
Wherever there is a speed course, and no matter how hard it blows, he'll go. Look, Mum, no hands. New to the F2 team, Sebastian Carl. Father of 3 kids, this Frenchman and production board world champion has a totally professional attitude to the sport.
I work with the German guys, but I don't understand one word in German. It's crazy. I had to learn, but I don't have enough time to learn German.
Too much sailing.
Yeah?
Too much sailing.
Yeah, sailing, but I think now I'm 25 years old and I think I can learn German now. I think it's too late. It's too late.
In 1994, he won the jump session at the indoor in Bercy, Paris, and he was only 18 years of age. When he finishes school, the Swiss Jerome Bouldois ambitiously wants to sail on the whole of the world tour. With Swiss precision, Peter Tommen shapes Bjorn Dunkerbeck's World Cup winning boards, which are now the most successful and popular shapes amongst professional board sailors. F2 racer and several times Austrian champion Werner Nigler has shaped some of the most popular F2 boards, Axis, Vega, Comet, Slalom, and his latest creation Xantos. Together with Tommen and Pride, he's also developed the Arrows sails.
With it, man. What we'll do is we'll go up, boom, and then like you can come up.
This is you. This
You
is me.
can tap my mast, right? It starts to drop, and then I'll go. Keep going up, tap your mast, come down, tap.
We'll just exchange.
Tap, tap.
We'll exchange.
Or else we'll come board to board, nose to nose.
are so simple to loop.
The Axis boards are designed that you can have fun in all sorts of conditions. Depending on the trim, you can race slalom or be in the waves. The smaller boards obviously go more in a wave direction, the bigger ones go more in a slalom direction. So that means in a small race you can easily keep up with the race boards, just depending if you have the right trim.
The shape concept of the new Axis is a modern no-nose shape, not too extreme to facilitate control in high winds, even for intermediate sailors. And rounded rails, slight V-bottom to enhance the maneuverability of the board, to make it easier to go into maneuvers.
Good times, fun, you know, diversifying your sailing, whether it's jumping,
That's true.
tricking, or going fast, you know. We do it all. We do it all. We have
That's
fun.
it right there. We just have a good time. That sums it up, man. We have fun.
You have to combine slalom and wave, and it's not so easy. Therefore, Peter and myself started separately working on the board. After a while, we met and tried to combine what we learned from our tests. After that, we went to a direction and started working with a lot of tests in different places, different conditions on the board.
Since I'm working really closely with the race team, I used those guys for input in that wave slalom board, obviously, and the experience I have with Bjorn in the slalom discipline definitely shows in the board, but also the work I did with Josh Stone and Matt Pritchard was really, really helpful to get the wave side of the board in tune with the slalom side.
The Axis 258 is a typical example for a board which can be used in all different kind of conditions. Therefore, we have different foot strap options. As you can see, the one in the front and more in the middle is for waves, and the one further on the rail and further back is for slalom use. Not only the foot straps you can change, if you change the fins, you have the perfect board either for slalom or wave.
We'll both be going up at the same time synchro. Not only doing a single forward, but we'll both be going
A double.
boom. And hopefully we won't kill each other.
This is our latest thinking. We're gonna go for it. So
It's a whole new synchro sailing.
whether we make it or not, it's gonna be very interesting.
It'll be entertaining. I think.
Very entertaining. It could be very painful also.
Yeah, but that's half the fun.
That's the beauty of it.
And the board of choice for the double-double?
Axis
258.
Why? We fly higher and stay drier.
true battle of the elements and what must be described as the most spectacular discipline. Wave sailing is one of the 3 World Tour disciplines and is often the most exciting and dangerous. It's one-on-one heats and the sailors are judged on wave riding, jumps and transitions. The highest scoring sailor progressing to the next round. A second elimination is run whenever possible, giving sailors another chance to reach the final. Wave sailing is what it's all about. The kit is different and so are the people. Wave destinations include Guincho in Portugal, Tenerife in the Canary Islands and Zilt in Germany. But probably the most famous of all, Hokipa Beach Park in Maui. It's where everybody goes, it's where the big waves are. Slalom is a high-speed action discipline as up to 10 sailors drag race across the line. It's fast and furious as racers sheet in their sails to speeds in excess of 30 knots. Speed and precision drives are the key. There are 2 types of slalom course. The usual downwind, high-speed zigzag, or in certain conditions such as surf, a figure of 8 layout is used instead, and starts can be from the beach. Laying down their rigs at the marks, it's breakneck jibes as they battle for the #1 spot. It's a knockout contest, with the first 4 or 5 sailors from each heat advancing through to the next round until they reach that all-important final. From flat-out sprinting to course racing, it's a blend of tactics and speed. The course is similar to that of slalom, except for an initial long upwind leg. The ability to judge wind shifts and currents are key skills needed to get upwind as fast as possible and get to the upwind mark in the lead.
Let's go!
Check this out.
I used a new concept which evolved from the no-nose boards. In both boards, in the 295 and the 310. The 310 is the first board with this length which comes without a dagger board. The reason for that is that board plans so early that you go upwind so easily even in light winds that you don't need a dagger board anymore. The difference to the World Cup design boards are that there's still a little bit more volume in the mast track area, and the result of that is that the board is much easier to sail, and to get planing is also a lot easier. even so, the new generation of boards, even they're still so long and they have so much volume, feel like a small slalom board.
First time I stepped on those boards, I was really surprised. Normally I sail on small slalom boards and they feel kind of light and you can do a lot of things very easy, jibing and planing and all this. And normally with the conventional shape of those boards with this length, they feel really heavy and it's not much fun to use them. So first time I stepped on those boards, the Xanthos 310 and 295, I was so surprised that they plane so easily and you can jibe and you feel like you're on a small slalom board. I couldn't believe it was actually a long board.
Board development for us is an ongoing story, it never ends. I mean, we are working on our different boards for the different disciplines year-round: slalom, course racing, wave, different conditions, onshore, sideshore, the whole thing. And so if F2 is coming up with a demand for a new production board, I'm checking out which board in our racing quiver is closest to what they want, and I start from that board on. So usually take the same rocker line, basically the same concept of the board, and just try to adapt it to sailors who have not the abilities of Bjorn. I mean, he is quite exceptional, so can't ask too much from all the other guys. So we build boards, different prototypes, and give them out to other racers, people on the beach who never tried a prototype before, whoever is just sitting at the beach that day, which is a really nice and interesting input usually.
Yeah, like Peter said, we have the development just going on more or less 12 months through the year. It never stops. You have a season of racing, we have a winter pause and we have a summer pause. And basically in the winter pause we have 2 months off. You have a chance to really try out new things that are different from what I already have in my quiver. So Peter comes to Gran Canaria, made a couple of boards, we try them out in the conditions we want to try them out in. He goes back to France, makes new boards, comes down again and do some more testing. In the summer pause it's more or less the same. Either we build them here in Maui or in France, and we just try them in whichever conditions we think they are suited for. And usually go in the right direction. Obviously not all the boards are going to go faster. Some are the same speed as the old one with a different concept. Then we keep the concept that kind of jives better and has better acceleration. And once in a while we try something and build it out, of course, and sometimes it works really good and sometimes it works really bad. But windsurfing is kind of a sport with lots of ifs in there. The conditions are never the same. So you kind of have to try and just do some weird stuff once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing is that there isn't any given in the sport, since the whole equipment has to work as a unit, and there's other elements involved than just the board itself as well. So I mean, fin development is going on a constant basis as well, rig development as well, and the sailor's ability actually developed quite a bit over time, and they change a lot, so that enables us to adjust for the board shape as well. So it's the whole thing, that the whole picture is there to be seen. I mean, that's
a really important feature as well is that the sails have changed a lot in the last couple of years. So you can basically use different rocker lines and use smaller boards, smaller fins. So if your board kind of goes too far ahead of the sail development, it doesn't fit together anymore. So you kind of got to mix both of them together, and that's when you're going to get the best results. And that's what we've been doing in the past years, basically. I mean, the more efficient the sails are, the more efficient the boards can be as well.
The more radical the shape can be, so it's
easier to control. That's why the boards have been getting smaller in the last couple of years, because the sail have more forward power, less sideways power, more lift, more control, and the boards can just get smaller and smaller because you get planing much easier. And the smaller boards you're going to use, the faster you're going to go in the water, because you get less resistant. And the less problems you're going to have with control problems as well. You might know when you go sailing along in strong winds, the board tends to come out of the water. Especially if you got an old board, like 4 years old, you have more problems. With your new ones, you can just go full speed the whole time. It will just stay in the water as long as you can keep sheeted in. So that's one of the biggest and best advantages with the narrow nose.
Yeah, the narrow nose was definitely the first step in that direction. That was really visual for everybody, and obviously we kind of adjusted the whole outline after that. The whole rocket line came into play as well. So that's the big thing about no nose. I mean, it's just the most obvious feature of the whole new board generation.
imagine just sailing out through these mountains. You know, it's just these huge mountains. The whole time is just like Your heart's just pounding, pounding, pounding. You're just pumping the whole time because you're looking outside like second, third reef, and these waves are just feathering through, and you're just pumping, 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 going, oh my God, I'm gonna get pounded, I'm gonna get pounded. And that rush is just incredible. The whole time you're just pumped, adrenaline's pumping through your body. And then when you turn around and you're lying down one of those waves and you're just looking down that face and you're just, yes, it's so rad. I mean, you're just like looking down this wave and the thing just starts walling up and it's just way over your mass. And you're just going, oh my God, this is the best feeling. Best feeling, incredible rush.
So for example, tennis and golf, I kind of get bored after 10 minutes. I like to hit the ball, see how far it flies, but after 10 balls I get bored. And windsurfing and surfing, it's different. It just kind of keeps you going because you know every time you get a big day and big waves, it just gives you such a rush. And that's what you're looking for basically the whole time. Hitting the lip as hard as possible, jumping as high as possible. That's life. It's exciting to sail in big waves like that because it doesn't happen every day. It's just so much water moving, so much power in the waves that you know if you're going to fall, you're going to be seriously hurt, the equipment's going to be gone, you could possibly drown. And that just gives you kind of a rush knowing that you're playing with so much danger and you try to control it but you can't really control it. And that kind of keeps you going.
you learn this respect for the ocean. And it's not so much a fear, it's almost like you're a part of the ocean. And it's, the ocean is teaching you respect. You know, to be afraid, if you're afraid, you don't commit. If you're really, really afraid, and then that's when people start getting hurt. Because if you don't commit, then you're not going to make it. You know, in that kind of situation, your mind has to be focused. You always have to be going for it. So you feel this more of a respect, deep respect. And it's not as much fear, but yeah, I mean, there's times when like you'll be no wind and a big set's coming. You know you're going to get pounded. Your heart's just fluttering, and then you're afraid. Yeah, right. It's the whole thing is a rush. Even when you eat it, you know, even when you're afraid, the whole fear, the respect thing is why you do it, you know, because you're having a good time. In the end, you get to the beach and you just feel great. Just, yes, excellent day.
As speed skiers would drop down an almost vertical mountain, speed sailors blast along a 500-metre timing track in shallow water with winds up to 40 knots.
You really say it against the watch and the timer and yourself. And if you do one mistake on the course, you lose time. If you do no mistakes, then you are faster than the other guys. And it's just a different challenge. It's good fun.
F2 sailor David White from England stuns the world every year. In 1993, he broke the production open sea world record with a speed of 42.22 knots. A mere 3 knots behind the prototype record, and he can get a lot more out of it.
The boards I have are serial production boards, and actually mine just comes straight in with everybody else's. And yeah, when the deliveries come, my boards just come out the rack, same as everybody else's.